Welcome to day 4. For today's class, you'll want 2 blocks and maybe a blanket to sit on. I'm going to start seated on a blanket today. So we'll begin in Sukhasana with the right shin in front of the left. And just take a moment to settle into your seat. You can rest your hands on your lap, palms down, which tends to be a little bit more grounding. Palms up tends to be a bit more opening. And then just let your eyes soften or close. Keep the lift in your chest, drop the shoulders down and back, and you might even lower the chin to the chest, just opening the back of the neck. Feel the connection of your sit bones plug into the ground below you. Feel super heavy through the pelvis, super grounded, like you're plugging your sit bones into the floor, into the earth. And from that rootedness in the lower body, feel your torso lift up and out of your legs, elongating the spine. And now start to find a steady breath in and out of your nose. And with every exhale, press down into your seat, get a little more rooted, a little more settled in your body. And with every inhale, maybe you can sit up a little bit taller, trying to find a little more space in the body. With your next breath in, bring your palms together in front of your heart. And as you exhale, let your eyes softly flutter open. Now from here, bring your hands behind you. Bend your knees, bring your feet to the ground. Sit up nice and tall, and then cross your right ankle past your left knee, figure 4, and feel free to grab your ankle if it helps, and get the entire ankle, the bony part, past your knee. Dorsiflex your toes straight back towards your knee, and then try to pull the pinky side of your foot back a little bit more, because you might notice that your big toe wants to pull back more. Try to pull the outer edge of your foot back. And now can you get right on top of your sit bones? So sit up nice and tall. Press the base of your spine forward and in. And maybe you translate as a lift in the chest. And then just breathe here. If it feels too intense at any point, you walk your left foot forward, giving yourself more space. If you want to deepen the stretch, you can inch the left foot in, and I really mean inch because an inch of movement will make a big difference. So maintain the length in your spine. Feel the right knee and thigh press forward. Relax the jaw. Take a deep breath in. And then as you exhale, release. Just stretch your legs out in front of you for a moment. And then switch the crossing of your shins, so now left shin is in front of the right. Bring your arms forward about shoulder height. Curl your fingers in and start to roll out your wrists about 4 times in one direction. Just little circular motions. And then go the other direction, just 4 or so times. Once you've done that, bring your arms out wide to a T, spread your fingers out, flip your palms up so that you externally rotate your shoulders, and then inhale, reach your arms to the sky as high as you can. Stay as you exhale, direct the front ribs down towards the frontal hip bones so you're not puffing out the front ribs. Don't shrug your shoulders down your spine, but reach up higher. Take another inhale. Exhale, bring your right fingertips to the ground, reach your left arm up and over, side bend. Feel free to stay still or rotate the chest down a little bit and then up towards the ceiling if you want to add a little rotation in. Your choice. Your body will kind of tell you what to do. Sometimes you find that sweet spot and it's like, oh, I should just stay here, breathe into the spot. Sometimes you kind of got to shift things around. And with your next inhale, come to center, reach 2 arms to the sky. Exhale, left hand down, reach the right arm up and over, side bend. And then you can stay still or find a little movement, a little rotation. Maybe you add a little neck movement as well. So just exploring. We're not here to practice perfect poses. We're here just to kind of get curious about our bodies. Like, what's going on in my body today? How do I feel? What needs a little more attention? And then come through center, bring your hands behind you. Bend your knees, bring your feet to the ground, and cross your left ankle past the right knee, figure 4. Get the bony part of your ankle past your knee. Flex your toes. And then notice how the big toe wants to pull back, and instead pull the outer edge of your foot back. Press the left knee and thigh forward. Rock your pelvis forward. You can think of almost doing a back bend here, so you're right on top of your sit bones. And maybe you're in a good spot already. Maybe you need to give yourself more space, walk the right foot forward, or maybe you walk it in to deepen the stretch. Each side of your body is different. I know my left hip is a little tighter than my right, so I oftentimes don't go as deep onto the left side. Okay, sit up nice and tall. Another breath in. And then exhale, release. All right, come off whatever you're sitting on. Come into a tabletop position on all fours, hands and knees. Stack your shoulders over your wrists, stack your hips over your knees. And then from here, we'll start with some cat-cows, but moving really slowly today. So start by curling your tailbone up towards the ceiling. Try to find a back bend just in the low back. And then start to notice your belly kind of dropping. Let it, relax it. Feel your ribs puffing out. And now start to pull your chest forward and slide your shoulders back. Take an inhale here. Start from the low back as you exhale, tuck your tailbone under. Try to ripple up to your mid back, push into the ground. And then start to feel your shoulders spread away from each other, straighten your arms, and then lastly tuck the chin into the chest. And now we'll start with the head. Start to look a little forward, pull your chest forward. Slide the shoulders back, and maybe this part of the body feels more stuck. Pull the chest forward, and then let your ribs puff out. And then let your tailbone curl up. Breathe in. Start with the tailbone, tuck your tailbone under. Start to lift the low belly, the ribs. Start to push the ground away from you, and then lastly tuck the chin into the chest. Now we'll start with the tailbone again. Curl your tailbone up, find the back bend in the low back. Relax the ribs. Pull your chest forward, slide the shoulders back, breathe in. Now keep this back bend in your upper body, but curl your tailbone under so there's a lift in the low belly. Walk your hands forward a couple of inches, tuck your toes under, push back into downward facing dog. Relax your head and neck, look back at your feet, make sure they're about hip bone distance apart, inner heels hidden behind you. Bend your knees as much as it helps. Your legs never have to be straight in down dog, ever. Your heels don't ever have to touch the ground. The more you practice, the more you will start to open your hamstrings, and the straighter you will start to get your legs. But it might never happen, and that's totally okay. And now step your feet a little closer to each other. Raise your right leg to the sky. Open your hips to the right, bend your right knee, drop your heel towards your bum. Push into your hands, send the hips higher. Start to turn the hips more to the right. Try to lift the right inner knee to the sky. And then straighten the right leg, square off your hips. Take a full breath in. Exhale, step your foot outside your right hand. Get your knee over your ankle. If it didn't make it there, just scooch it forward. And then drop your back knee, point the toes. I like to be on fingertips here. You can, of course, have hands on blocks as well. Start to just move your hips around. You can rock forwards, rock back. You can straighten the right leg a couple of times. Maybe take a hip circle, clockwise motion. Get weird. And then rebend the right knee. Turn the right toes out to the right. Keep your left hand down, inch it forward a bit. Bring your right hand to your right thigh and start to just lean your chest back. Turn the chest to the right. Lean your chest so far back that maybe you can start to straighten the right arm, maybe not. Don't force it, but just work towards it. Keep the back shin rooted for another breath. And then bring your right hand down. Tuck your back toes, lift the back knee. We're going to step into a squat. Step your left foot outside your left hand, turn your toes out, keep your heels on the ground, bend your knees. And that might mean that you might not come into a deep squat, you might be higher, that's totally okay. You can also place that blanket under your heels if your heels are pretty close to the ground. Bring hands to heart center. Arms inside your legs, and now push your knees, your thighs out to the side to engage the outer hips. As you exhale, do the opposite. Squeeze your arms with your inner thighs, so you're engaging your adductors, inner thighs. And then push your knees out, engaging outer hips. abduction. Squeeze your legs in, adduction. Press your knees out to the side. Plant your hands, fold forward, turn your toes forward. Bend your knees a lot, walk your feet in a bit. And now keep your knees bent. Roll up for 3, for 2, and 1. Once your chin lifts, inhale, reach the arms out and up. Grab onto your left wrist with the right hand. Reach up as you breathe in. Take a side bend to the right as you breathe out. Bend your knees a little bit and start to turn your chest down towards the right foot. Try to pull your left arm to the right. And now inhale, come to center. Release your wrist, fold forward, little bend in the knees. Inhale, chest forward. Plant your hands, step your left leg back. Spin your back heel to the ground. Line up your front heel to your back arch. Open up wide to warrior 2, facing the long edge of your mat. And just for a moment, straighten your front leg. And with your front leg straight, firm your left hip in. Lift your right hip up so your pelvis is upright under your chest. Push your left thigh back so there's no bend in the back knee. And if your ribs tend to kind of puff out here, think of knitting them in so you're not in a back bend. Take a breath here. Exhale, bend your right knee, warrior 2. Let's bend and straighten a couple times. Inhale, straighten. Exhale, bend. Once more, inhale. Exhale, bend and hold. Stack your right knee over your ankle. Maybe you're inching your foot forward a bit. Work towards making this right thigh parallel to the mat. Keyword, work towards. Doesn't have to happen today. And then flip your palms, reverse your warrior. I like to grab that right wrist and really pull back so it's a side bend. Straighten the right leg. Bring your hands to your hips. Turn your toes to face the long edge of your mat. Keep your ribs hugging in. It's always a reminder for myself so I don't go into a big back bend. Take an inhale. Hinging at your hips, come forward just halfway. Try to keep your spine exactly as it is. Lead with your chest. Inhale, come back upright. So the only thing that's happening is our pelvis is tipping forwards and backwards. We're not changing the spine. We're not rounding or back bending. Take a breath in. Exhale, hinge forward halfway. Once more, inhale, come to center. Exhale, fold forward halfway, pause. Hips back, heart forward. Bring your fingertips to the ground. If you need to grab your blocks, bring hands to blocks. Turn your toes out and then bend your left knee, take a side lunge. Your hips shift back. The spine stays long, heart forward. Come to center, breathe in. Exhale, bend your right knee. Crawl to frame your right foot. Plant your hands, runner's lunge. Step to downward facing dog. Inhale, rock forward to a plank. Drop to your knees, point your toes. Take a deep breath in. Exhale, lower to the belly. Stretch your legs long and back. Press down through your feet. Inhale, lift your hands, your head, your chest. Exhale, lower down. Push up onto all fours. Tuck your toes under. Downward facing dog. Take a deep breath in. Stay for the breath out. Come back into your body, back into your breath. Step your feet a little closer to each other. Raise the left leg up. Start to open your hips to the left. And then bend your left knee. Drop your heel towards your bum. Try to lift the hips higher. Really push into your hands. Try to lift the left inner knee to the sky. Straighten the legs. Square off your hips. Breathe in. Exhale, step left foot outside left hand. Drop your back knee, untuck the back toes. Hands can be down, you can be on fingertips or on blocks. Start with a little movement here, maybe you're rocking forwards and backwards. Maybe counterclockwise hip circles. Just exploring, moving the hips in all different directions. Doesn't matter what it looks like. And then bend your left knee, turn your toes out. Walk the right hand forward another inch. Bring your left hand to your left thigh and start to lean the chest back. Turn the chest to the left a bit. Maybe start to straighten the left arm. Each side of your body's different. Don't expect it to feel or look the same on each side. Okay, bring your left hand down, tuck your back toes, and step your right foot outside your right hand. We're coming into a squat. Turn the toes out. Keep your heels down as you bend the knees. Remember, your squat can be higher, more active. You can have a blanket under your heels. You can sit up onto a block or a pair of blocks, so make it work for you. And now this time, bring your fingertips to the ground in front of you. Take a breath in. As you exhale, round your spine. Tuck the tailbone under, relax the head. And now inhale, try to arch your spine. Lift the tailbone, slide the shoulders back. And then exhale, round your spine. Tuck the tailbone under. One more time, inhale, arch. Plant your hands, exhale, fold, walk the feet in. Turn the toes forward. Bend your knees a lot and roll up for 3, for 2, and 1. Once your chin lifts, inhale, reach your arms out and up. Grab onto the right wrist, reach up and over to the left. Side bend. Take a little bend in your knees, turn the chest down towards the left foot. Inhale, come back towards center. Release the wrist, exhale, fold, hinging at the hips. Inhale, chest forward. Plant your hands, step the right leg back. Spin your back heel down, line up your front heel to your back arch. Open up wide, warrior 2, facing the long edge of your mat. And just for a moment, straighten that front leg. Feel how your left hip is kind of dipping down. Firm your right hip in, so your pelvis is upright, right under the chest. Press into your outer back heel, no bend in the back knee, and lengthen your tailbone down. Breathe in. Exhale, bend your left knee, warrior 2. 2 more times. Inhale, straighten. Exhale, bend. Inhale. Exhale, and hold. So if you want to work towards making that front thigh parallel to the mat, you might inch your foot forward, keep the knee over the ankle, track the front knee over the center of the foot, don't let it turn in. And then keep that bend in the front knee. Reverse your warrior, flip the front palm. You might grab the left wrist, take a side bend. Straighten your left leg. Turn your toes to face the long edge of your mat, hands to your hips. Take a breath in, keep the ribs in. Exhale, hinge at your hips, fold forward just halfway. Feel your pelvis rock forward. And then lead with the chest, inhale, come back up. Exhale, fold. No more than halfway. Keep the spine as it is. Inhale, come back up. And exhale, fold about halfway. Bring your hands down, maybe on fingertips, maybe hands to blocks. Turn your toes out, take a breath in. Exhale, bend your right knee. Now walk your hands to the left. So you're bending the right knee, walking your hands towards the left. Relax your head between the upper arms. Try to keep the right heel down. And then slowly straighten the right leg, walk the hands back under your shoulders. Breathe in. Exhale, bend your left knee, and then walk your hands to the right. Relax your head. And you're bending your left knee as much as you can, maybe go a little deeper. Keep the left heel down. You might feel this in the right inner thigh, maybe the left outer hip. Straighten the left leg. Crawl your hands to the top of the mat, frame your left foot, runner's lunge. Step 2, downward facing dog. Inhale, rock forward to a plank. Drop to your knees, point your toes, full breath in. Exhale to the belly. Stretch your legs long and back, press into your feet. Inhale, lift the hands, the head, the chest. Exhale, lower down. Push up onto all fours, tabletop, downward facing dog. Take a deep breath in through the nose, a deep breath out. And then from here, Drop to your knees. Swing your feet off to the side. Come to a seated position facing the long edge of your mat. Bring your hands behind you. Bring your feet to the ground nice and wide on your heels. So this is called a bear stance. And then just start to knock your knees side to side. And just do that a few more times. So as you knock your knees to the right, your right hip is externally rotating, left is internally rotating. As you go to the left, it's the opposite. Right leg internally rotates, left hip externally rotates. And then maybe you try to do this without your hands. Walk your hands in. Try to just go side to side. I like to add a little twist in the upper body. Now the next time you knock your knees to the right, pause, bring your hands by your sides, and as much as you can, try to make this right shin parallel to the short edge of your mat. Turn your chest towards the right shin. So this is very similar to that figure 4 leg. Take a breath in. Exhale, hinge at your hips, fold forward, maybe just halfway. Lead with the chest. Inhale, come back up. Exhale, fold. Inhale, come back up. Exhale, fold. Inhale, come back up. Stay to exhale, stay upright. Keep your left foot down. Try to lift just the left knee off the ground without moving anything else in the body, and then lower. So we're going to do that 4 more times. Try to keep your chest facing forward. I can already feel my torso trying to open to the left. So lift the left knee and lower. Lift and lower. Keep everything else still. Lift and lower. Once more. Lift, lower, and then turn through center. Come to the other side. Knock your knees to the left. Frame your hips. Make your left shin as parallel to the short edge of your mat as you can. Doesn't have to be perfect. Take a breath in. Keep the spine long. Exhale, fold just about halfway. Lead with the chest. Inhale, come back up. Exhale, come forward. Inhale, back up. Once more. Exhale, forward. Inhale, back up. Stay to exhale. Try to keep your chest facing the left knee and then lift the right knee off the ground. Keep everything else still. Lower and lift. Good. Lower and lift. Let's do 3 more. Keep everything else still. Lift and lower. Lift as much as you can and lower. Once more. Lift, lower, and then come back through center. Stretch your legs out in front of you. If you'd like to sit up onto a blanket, go ahead and do so. Come to a cross-legged seat. And take a moment just to settle into your seat. Wiggle around a little bit until you can find a nice tall spine. Ideally, when we're sitting, our knees or the height of the hips or lower is even better. And that's why sometimes sitting up onto a couple blankets or blocks is helpful. Notice if you're kind of rounding your spine, draw the shoulders back, stack your chest over your hips. And then from here, bring your left hand out to the side, reach the right arm up and over. Take a side bend just as we began. Breathe in, breathe out. Come through center. Switch. Bring the right hand down. Reach the left arm up and over, side bend. Full breath in. Full breath out. Come back through center. Switch the crossing of your shins. So now the opposite shin is in front. And this is where we'll end. Bring your hands by your sides. Press into the earth. Find the tallest spine you've found all day. If your ribs are puffing out, move them down towards the frontal hip bones. If you're rounding back or leaning forward, stack your chest over your hips and then rest your hands on your lap, palms down for a sense of grounding. You might lower the chin a bit, you might close the eyes or soften the gaze on one spot. Notice how your hips, your pelvis, your low back feels. This really trunk of the body, kind of, this part that at least supports the trunk of the body. It's our center. And when we get tight in the hips or weak, oftentimes we'll feel pain either below the hips or above them. So really just taking time to do some stretches, some strengthening is going to keep the rest of your body feeling stable. It's going to help with physical balance. And with that physical balance, it starts to translate as a little more mental balance, meaning we just feel more grounded in our bodies. It doesn't mean that hard things don't happen. It means that when things are challenging or uncomfortable, we have a sense of feeling safe in our bodies. Bring your hands together in front of your heart. Today I'll end class by repeating an affirmation, and if you would like to repeat it silently or out loud, feel free to do so. Start by exhaling fully. If you'd like to repeat, I am home. I have arrived. I am home. I have arrived. I am home. I have arrived. Lower the chin to the chest. Exhale fully one more time. Thank you so much for practicing today. I will see you tomorrow. Om Shanti. Peace.